Hey everybody, how we doing? What's going on? It's Sunday, it's 3 o'clock. Let's see if we can break something. How's everyone doing? No, it's not fixed yet. The cracks are for aesthetic reasons, I promise. Oh, bite me, Jay. Look, I got up late today. I got up very late today. I got up at 12:30 this afternoon. So, how's everybody doing? Having a wonderful day. Hopefully staying cool or warm, depending on where in the world you are. So I tried a feeble attempt at making a thumbnail today. I don't know how well it worked, but you know, I tried. Yes, I did, Dave. I'll go back and take a look at it here a little later. So, yeah, Tom, I know that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That, believe it or not, is actually affecting the weather down here. Those fires have actually, I guess, the smoke has blown south and actually started affecting the weather here in the U.S. Several days this week we were hazed in pretty bad here in Pennsylvania, and they were blaming it on the fires up in Canada. So I hope they get that under control soon. That's never a good thing. So it's pretty bad when they start having forest fires up in Canada. I mean, California, we're used to it down here in California, and that doesn't really affect us much here. So, yeah, I'm sure your air filter is probably caked, and if you have an inside air filter for your cabin ventilation, it's probably not happy either. So, hopefully things get under control soon. Jay, you need to quit smoking. Oh. Hey, Greg. So I want to show you what I'm up against. I'm sure you guys all saw the thumbnail. So I bought this iPhone 6s, not a Plus, just a 6s, off of one of the guys in one of the Facebook groups. I think it was the iPod Touch Facebook group. I can't recall. So he's like, "Hey, I have this iPhone 6s, 32 gig, works perfect. It's unlocked. You know, there's no iCloud lock on it. You wanted $50 for it shipped." So I was like, you know what? That's not really a bad deal for a pretty decent condition iPhone 6s. I mean, these things are still, believe it or not, this is actually one of the more desirable models of the older iPhones. they still hold a fairly good value. So I took the plunge and I gave the guy $50, and this was on Thursday. So I gave the guy $50, and he's sending me pictures like, yeah, I got it all backed up. And he said I dropped it off at the post office. So just for shits and giggles, I checked the tracking Friday. He said, oh yeah, it'll be here Monday. So no, that's not too bad. I got home from work yesterday, and this is waiting in the mailbox for me. It's like, holy shit, the Postal Service is actually on the ball for once. So, it's like, wow, that's pretty unusual. So, I figured, you know what? It's like, I'm gonna give this a try. So, this phone was actually a good value for me because I have a screen for one, just sitting here doing nothing. I had bought the guy advertised it as an iPhone 6 on Facebook, and he barely spoke a lick of English. So I said, okay, you know what? I needed an iPhone 6 screen, and he was selling it for like $25. So I was like, okay. So I bought it. I drove over to Harrisburg. I bought it. Well, here it wasn't an iPhone 6s. It was a 6. It was a 6s, and it was having boot loop problems. So I'm like, oh well, you know what? Maybe I can fix. So I fixed the boot loop problem, but then it had an iCloud lock. And I was like, shit. So I tried to get a hold of the guy and see if he could undo the iCloud lock, and of course he would not. He refused to respond to it. So I was like, fine. So I stripped it for parts. It was a rose gold iPhone 6s. It was in perfect condition and everything except it was iCloud locked. So basically the logic board is totally borked. But I kept the parts in case I ever needed them because I'm a hoarder like that. I've got stray iPhone parts everywhere. But one thing to take note is oh, excuse me. That these phones are now 4 years old, and they actually have one cool trick up their sleeve yet. And give me a second here. Alright, so that was a little screwed up. I haven't used OBS. I'm on my Mac Pro, by the way, so I haven't really used OBS very much on here lately, so everything's totally different. So this is my iPhone 6s Plus, but as you take notice, it is running iOS 15. As Frederick Kramer has stated, these phones will run iOS 16. Or 15, excuse me. So Apple has actually breathed a little bit of life into the iPhone 6s yet. I honestly was under the impression and thought that last year would be the last software update. So I figured, well, you know what? These phones are actually still going to be good for another year or so, so what the hell? So I bought the phone, and now I'm going to fix it. So let's fix it. And I only have one camera, so we're just going to have to make do with what we got. So when I do these repairs, I prefer to do them on my workbench here, because my cats have less tendency to jump on this desk than my other one. Yes, somebody used the iHammer Mini on this particular device, but I mean, it works perfectly. Oh, Touch ID is working. I can touch it. You know, everything is still fully functional on it. I made a test phone call with it using my SIM card. Now, the only thing that kind of ticked me off when I got this is he told me it was unlocked, like totally unlocked, but it actually wasn't. It did have a carrier lock. But thankfully, it was an AT&T carrier lock, which is one of the easiest ones to do. All I had to do was go online, give them the IMEI number, and not even 20 minutes later, they sent me an email back. Yep, your device is unlocked. Reboot. You're good. It's like, wow, sweet. So I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to actually fix one of these. So, and oh, shit. There goes the phone, or the camera. I'm trying to get my phone out of the way here. My desk is a mess right now. So, I don't know if, first thing we need to do is power it off. And this phone is shattered very badly. I've actually gotten a couple of glass chips in my fingers. So, first thing we need to do is we need to get a pentalobe screwdriver. This is going to seem strange to you guys, but I'm actually going to use... Yes, I have an old Kindle, and I actually use it as a screw tray. I do use it as a Kindle too, but I use it mostly as a screw tray. So, I need to take the two absolutely microscopic... Is this the right bit? Yeah. It says it is. Okay. There we go. You have to forgive me if I don't read the chat too much while I'm doing this. The problem is I have to take my glasses off to do this because I have to look real close so I can't see the chat all the time because I actually can't read it without my glasses on. So after we get the two screws out, now the plus side is this phone is shattered beyond use, so usually getting underneath it isn't so much of a big deal. However, sometimes these things will give you a fit. I can try using the suction cup, but I doubt it's really going to work too well because of how cracked up the screen is. Yep, that ain't going to work too well. Okay. Yes, these things are stuck together fairly well. So I'm going to get my sly pry, and when you do this, so here's the new screen, newly used screen. The cables are at the top of the screen. Okay, so basically, if you gently pry on the sides and very gently in the corners, do not pry around the home button. But if you pry in the corners gently, then you're usually fairly safe, and you don't usually hit any cables. Hey, that's actually a very good idea there, Gray. No, I never thought of that, Greg. So this is why I like doing this stuff live, because you guys actually have very good ideas. And I don't do this for a living. I do this for friends and family. I've actually replaced quite a fair number of these. I've never really had too much trouble. Hey, Tobias. Hey, Soulblats. No, it was the 6S that was glued. They did it for quote-unquote water resistance. It's not nearly as bad as the later ones, but it does still have glue on it. I mean, truthfully, the absolute easiest one to ever do is the iPhone 4. The iPhone 4 is... wow. This sucker's glued down good. Alright, well, tell you what we're going to... all you have to do is get it started. This packing tape isn't the best either. This is like industrial grade crap. Yeah, I don't have a heat mat or anything like that. Like I said, I don't do this for a living. Matter of fact, this is actually one of the first times I have actually not done it for my family or whatever. So, let me see if I can sneak in here where the phone is kind of destroyed. And I'm using the tape mainly to keep the glass from flying everywhere. There we go. Got it. Sort of. After you get started, it's actually not too bad. There's some clips that hold it in. All I do is just take my little plastic pick here and just go around it. This is actually the first time I've ever had to use my metal prying tool to actually open one of these. That's why I was surprised. These do have a little bit of adhesive around the edge, but it's not near what these new models are. I mean, these new models are practically like glued down permanently. Come on, Betsy. There we are. All right. Yeah, waterproofing my ass. There's the water resistance on an iPhone 6s is like nil. Alright, so I mean it is, I guess you could say it is resistant, but I don't know. Oh, the newer one, yeah. There we go. All right. So, but you can see, the strands of glue here. So the other good thing you should do while you're in here is probably change the battery, especially this battery is not the best, but it's not horrible. I don't have a battery to put in it though. That's the problem, and I'm not too terribly concerned with the battery. I have a. I'll show it to you then. I have a case. I have a case to put this in that actually has one of the backup batteries in it. All right, so we're going to change our bit to a tiny little Philips. There you are. Yeah. So, underneath this little panel here is where the connectors are. 4 screws holding this thing in. You have to watch because one of the screws that goes in here is longer than the others. This screw right here is longer than the other 3. Alright, and then there is our display connector. So there's 3 plugs here, but you have to undo this one here, which actually doesn't go to the display, I believe. Maybe it does. Oh, yes it does. Okay. So, alright. So there's our naked iPhone. And I'm just going to try to scrape off some of this old adhesive. I don't have any adhesive to put on it. This one is actually going to go into a life-proof case. I'll show it to you here after we get it all done. No, the battery's not disconnected. I probably should disconnect it. Just for safety's sake, because these things are pretty things can be pretty wicked. So I'll do that just for safety's sake. So underneath here is the battery. And it's this connector right here. Which is a pain in the tuchus to get out. Alright, so now we did that. So we put the naked iPhone aside. Yeah, I like living on the edge. What the hell? So, one thing about these phones is the home button is paired to each phone. So, we have to remove the home button from this phone and transfer it to, or this screen and transfer it to our new screen. It's going to look a little funny because this is a black screen. The one I'm replacing it with is a white screen. And this has a black home button. But, I think it'll look okay. So there's 3 screws holding the home button bracket in. And this one here actually goes through the screen frame. And all I do is I just slide this bracket out. It can be done. If you go into iFixit and whatnot, they actually tell you to take this whole frame out, but it's such a pain in the butt. I actually just do it like that. There. And then I take this little connector here. You got to be careful. Very, very delicate stuff. And if you look, you can't see it on the camera because my camera's not that good. But if you look on here, there's actually a tiny little barcode. Wow, that just does not want to come apart. What the hell? Alrighty then, that's a new one. I've never had one of these not come apart. Alright, there we go. Whew. So this little connector, it goes underneath this panel and goes up to the top here. It usually stays glued onto the screen, but this one did not want to stay glued onto the screen. Let me very carefully take this cable off. Alright. Alright, here we go. So, this thing is junk. We need that no longer. Yeah, if you buy a brand new screen, you don't get a home button, and typically this back panel is not included. I can actually have a new screen here somewhere. Okay, this is a 6, so it's a little different. Well, no, this one actually has a frame on it. So, but there's no home button. So, this is a busted screen out of a 6. I actually have I have a 6 here too. The I bought a new screen for it because the screen broke, but this phone is toast. So somewhere along the line, I'm probably going to try to locate a iPhone 6. So now I'll just pop this in here, and there is a little gasket. Supposed to help keep the water out. And this is very fiddly work. So it's a miracle that anybody can repair these freaking things at all, to be honest with you. Alright, so we got our home button in. Now we put our chain bracket in. And there's a little pin right here. So kind of a bitch. There we go. That actually went really good. That's a first. I'm glad your cat's happy. Oh, all right. My cats are not happy right now because they can't get up on my lap or my desk. Oh, there we go. So we got a black home button on a white screen. I think it looks kind of cool, to be honest with you. I mean, it kind of matches when the screen's not powered on. Alright, so now we get to do the fun part. Yeah, thank God. They're making it harder and harder every year for the average Joe to do this, and it's ridiculous. It's not necessary, and it's total bullshit. I mean, I understand that Apple wants to maintain the integrity of their intellectual property, but I'm sorry, it's just the whole unrepairability thing is just total bullshit. You know, I bought the fucking thing, I should be able to fix it however I want, or by whomever I want. You know. Especially on a phone this old. I mean, come on, this thing is 4 years old, for fuck's sakes. You know. And if memory serves, it's actually still the best selling iPhone ever. I don't think even today, to this day, there has been another iPhone that has been as popular as the 6S. Hell, I know cell phone stores that are still selling the fucking thing. I know, Metro PCS, prepaid phone store, they still sell the 6S. They don't have the Plus, but they do have the 6S. I think Cricket Wireless, it's mostly prepaid phone stores at this point in time, but still, I mean, it's still being sold. And that's impressive. There's still enough of a demand for them that they're still being sold. And they're still being sold for ridiculous prices, too. Yeah, well, I don't really think that's really going to make much of a difference there, Joey, to be honest with you. Because, you know, this general society is just such a throwaway, and you know, everything is just throwaway and expendable. Oh, it breaks, let's just go buy a new one. You know, it's just ridiculous. Personally, I have an iPhone XR, don't get me wrong, and I did just buy it, but of course I can't use the fucking thing, but I do have it. But I didn't throw my iPhone 6S Plus away either, because I love my 6S Plus. It is the best goddamn phone I've ever owned in my life. You know. Well, hey, it's powering on. Not intentionally, but it's powering on. So, yeah, there we go. It works. Now let's see if the Touch ID works. Yep, Touch ID works perfect. Put these two parallel screws back in. Assuming I don't lose the frickin' things. Yeah, I like being able to work on my stuff as well, Thomas. Or Tobias, I'm sorry. Alright, what's the deal here? Yeah, I mean, the iPhone 6 is a good... I mean, the iPhone... I still use a 5C for fuck's sakes. My other phone is actually a 5C. Now, actually, that's why I got this phone, was to replace the 5C. The 5C is getting a little long in the tooth. It still works beautiful, though. I mean, I stream music on it. I use it as a phone. It's a little slow on the internet, but it's not horrible. I mean, I got a 4S on my desk. I got a 4 on my desk. I have a 5 in my desk. It doesn't work any longer, unfortunately. I had a 5S, and I actually got rid of that because I ran into some hard times and I needed some money. So, unfortunately, I didn't care for the 5S, truthfully. The Touch ID was absolutely horrendous on it. I mean, as a phone, it worked great, but the Touch ID was so finicky. Apple really did a good job when they came out with the 6 and the 6S. They got the Touch ID down pretty good. And of course they did away with it by the 10, which is annoying as fuck. Oh, hey, John. Oh, hey. It was no big deal. I was a little annoyed at first, but then when I finally realized that it was just AT&T, I was like, oh, fuck. That's like the easiest to do. AT&T is so liberal and so nice. I mean, I don't even have to talk to a person, which is good because I hate people. Especially customer support people. They just drive me insane. Alright, there we go. Works perfectly. Now, the battery in this thing is not the best. But that's minor. So, I was out thrifting the other day. It was just ironic. So I bought this, and I was out thrifting and said, hey, look at that. It's a life-proof case for an iPhone 6. And this is the battery case. So I've never been a big fan of life-proof cases. I prefer OtterBoxes, and I have an OtterBox for this phone too. But this one here, having the battery on it, just made it so much better. Because then I can just plug this in, and when the battery gets low, I can just charge it right up. And all is right with the world. Now, I mean, obviously, this is not going to pass Apple's muster for a top-notch quality repair, but, you know, I don't fucking care. I still think these are some of the best phones they've ever made. And I will still continue to use them. The only thing I tell you what, the one thing I do miss with my iPhone XR is the fact that the battery in that thing lasts for flipping ever. Oh my god. Because they have such smaller logic boards in them than the older models, that they can put a absolutely horrendously huge battery in them. There we go. Voila. This battery is charged. Now, the one thing that's annoying about this case is that this has a micro USB on it, which is nice for like ease of finding a charger, but it's annoying when you have all lightning connectors and you have to dig up a micro USB cable because you don't have anything in your house that uses the damn things. But yep, there it is. So go on YouTube. We can sign in. And there we go. I'm watching my own stream on my newly fixed iPhone and listening to myself. Yeah, micro USB is a pain. The connectors are so tiny. You know, I complained when Apple changed from the 30-pin to Lightning, but you know, when it comes down to either using Lightning or using micro USB, I would definitely I'd love to use yeah, I love using the Lightning connector. It's so much more reliable. Micro USB is a nightmare because the connectors are so small and they break so easily. So now USB 3 is a lot more robust, thankfully. But yeah, there it is. I mean, the lightning ports aren't the best either. I mean, they get damaged somewhat easily sometimes, but not nearly like micro USB. I have very few people say, "Hey, I need a new micro USB," or I see very few people say, "Yeah, I need a micro USB connector on this," or "Yeah, the USB connector's busted." And I see very few people say, "Oh yeah, the lightning connector broke." It's like, "Oh, that's unusual. The lightning cable usually breaks, but not the connector." I don't have a lot of experience with USB 3, Greg. I try to avoid it. So, you know, people call us Apple fanboys and whatnot. No, it's not that I'm an Apple fanboy. I use the more superior technology, and I find that the iPhone just is that technology. So, I hate Android devices because every freaking one of them is different. No matter which one you get, they're all fucking different. Yeah, USB 3 is fine. I mean, I don't have any issues with USB 3 in general. So, okay, so what do we do with the old screen? Well, we put it into e-waste, aka the garbage can. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of USB 3 stuff, but none of that micro little fucking port shit. So my USB 3 stuff is all USB A style. So like the old screen selling on eBay. I've never broken any USB 3 cables either because I don't have any. But that just goes now. Okay, so how long have I been streaming here? Alright, 53 minutes. That's how easy it is to swap the screen out on an iPhone 6. So, you know, it's very simple to do. The absolute number one easiest by far is the 4 and the 4S. I mean, these things here, like, just you take the two screws out and they literally fall apart. It's awesome. I've replaced the batteries in both of these. Well, no, I replaced the battery in this one here. This is a 4. This one here has a fair battery. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. This is a 4S, but this one's only 16 gigs. This one's 32. Which is 32 gigs back then was a hell of a lot of space. This was a very expensive phone. This one's a 16, and this I had the same problem with this one here when I bought it. So it had a carrier lock on it. The guy told me, he's like, he hadn't used it for a long time. He's like, I don't remember who it was. Well, luckily, I have a little collection here of SIM cards, old SIM cards. I've got Sprint, T-Mobile, Metro PCS, AT&T. I just start swapping in SIM cards until one of them works. When one of them works, then I know which carrier I'm dealing with, because I don't know of any, unfortunately, I don't know of any other way of finding out who an iPhone's locked to. So, but same thing with this. I just went on AT&T's website, and with 10 minutes, they said, "Oh yeah, your phone's unlocked. We're good." But these are also like the sexiest phones. I mean, they're thick. They're pretty chunky. I mean, they're not big though. I mean, but they're the design of these, the industrial style design. I love it. The big fat metal buttons on these. I mean, these were just awesome little phones. And then he went to the thin design. I don't have anything to show. They went to the thinner design of the iPhone 6, which was fine, but man, it was so fragile. It's like this one here, I can do this. I can twist this thing and it doesn't give at all. So, and now they're up to what, 12 now, and the 12 actually went back to this style, not as thick, but they went back to this design style, which I thought was kind of cool. It's still a thin phone, but I don't know. The jobs that I've had over the years, I'd rather have something that can withstand some force versus, bending on a whim. So, I mean, my iPhone 6s Plus has a bend in it, and I have no idea how it got there, but it's bent. So, oh, dude, replacing the screen on iPad 2 is so fucking easy. You want me to do one? I'll do one. The iPad 2 is just like doing an iPhone 6s Plus. Or an iPhone 6. So, alright. The only thing that sucks is that now the iPad is 2 layers. Okay. This iPad is dead. Well, it's not dead. It's iCloud locked, unfortunately. This one belonged to my niece. This was actually my very first iPad. My ex-sister-in-law had an iCloud locked to her account, so okay. This isn't an iPad. This is a 16 gig iPad too. It's a little beat up, but it's not bad. So I've put I have put one screen on this over the years. So now this one's easy to show you because this is already coming apart. So all you have to do is heat up. I just heat up one corner, okay, and then you just take your spudger and just kind of go around. And if you're gentle, you can do this if you have a good digitizer. You can do this without breaking a digitizer. Oops. Should be showing you how I'm doing this. Whoops. And I just broke the digitizer. That's alright. The digitizer on this one doesn't work too well anyway, so it's not like it's a big loss. So, but you see here, it's actually a 2-piece design. Okay? So, when you replace the glass, you're not actually replacing the screen. Okay? You're actually just replacing the digitizer itself. You got to watch here at the camera. And I'm not really too worried about this particular digitizer because this was a cheap piece of shit replacement I got off of, I don't even remember where the hell I got it. I got it somewhere. And it worked alright for about a year. And then it started acting dumb. And my niece was still able to use it, but I ended up giving her a iPad Mini 1 to replace it. This is one of those ones where the adhesive has worked in certain spots and not in others. I mean, this day and age, I'm not exactly sure who would want to replace. I don't know who would bother replacing a digitizer on an iPad 2. I mean, a great iPad, don't get me wrong. And the iPad 1 was a piece of shit. The iPad 2 finally got it all right. I was very fortunate that my very first one was an iPad 2. So now I have an iPad 4 that I do still use, Not a lot, but I do still use it. And I have a first gen iPad Pro. Wow, this thing's being stubborn. And I just cracked the screen. Luckily, this is just a parts unit, or it's really a junk unit. It's iCloud locked. Oh, maybe I didn't crack the screen. Maybe I could just crack the digitizer some more. I hope it's what it did. Oh yeah, I just cracked the digitizer. Okay. Never mind, I didn't crack the screen. By the way, heating this up makes this a lot easier. Just saying. So if you have a heat gun, or if you have a heat pad, that's the best way to do it. But like I said, Jay, if you have a heat source of some sort, which I don't have my heat gun here. My heat gun's in my car, which is at work. Because that's what I do. I use a heat gun. I have a heat gun that I use. So, like I said, if you have some kind of heat source, this is actually real easy. There we go. And that's all there is to it. He says as he looks at the destroyed iPad. So, now after you get to here, and you get the rest of the fucking screen off, or the digitizer. See, I keep calling it a screen. It's not a screen. This is just the This is the actual screen. See, unlike the iPhone, these are actually two separate units. So whenever you crack the glass, you're not actually cracking the LCD. You're just cracking the digitizer. And it's the same for the iPhone. But the iPhone and the and the digitizer are glued, pretty much glued together permanently. Whereas on this, the digitizer floats above the LCD. So, yeah. Now these are usually a lot harder to get even to this point. But if you have a heat pad, which is ideal. So if you have a heat pad to lay it on, lay it flat on the heat pad, it'll heat up the entire frame at one time, and then it'll fall off pretty much. Now I obviously don't have heat. If I did, I'd be using it. So, but the other thing is too. Now there's a plastic frame sort of thing around the digitizer that the digitizer actually sits in, and that always gets in the way when you're using these tools. But it's really not that terrible to do, Jay. You know. Now when you get to here, I'm not going all like super crazy here. I'm just going to show. So there's a cable here that connects the digitizer to the actual tablet, and then there's 4 screws that hold the actual physical screen in. And by the way, iPad minis are constructed almost the identical way. Now, once you get into Retina, those, I believe, are all sandwiched together like the iPhone. So, once you get to this point, you lift the screen out. And then normally all you would do is you would just disconnect the digitizer right here. Okay. Oops. Yeah, Logan, where the hell have you been? You're a little late there, buddy. The phone is done. Honestly, at this point in time, I'm just stripping an iPad down for parts. Jay has an iPad 2 that he doesn't want to fix. So I was trying to show him that it's actually not that bad to do. So there's the LCD screen, which is probably the most valuable part of this device, to be honest with you. And then here is the digitizer cable. So
remember how this goes together. It's been so long since I've done one of these.
Oh yeah, that's what these just pull out. Okay. And then there's the digitizer, which on this particular one is now junk. But I mean, you can see there's massive, absolutely massive amounts of adhesive on this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. Which, I mean, is good. I mean, they're durable as fuck. So, kind of what you're going for when you have a tablet. You know, you don't want it to be, you don't want it to be a cheesy piece of crap. They're not that hard, really. I mean, you also have to remember, guys, I'm not doing this properly. So this is a half-assed way of doing it. Here's the home button assembly, which this is actually also quite useful to have because these are actually micro switches and they wear out if you use your home button a lot. So, but that's junk. And then you got 3 battery cells, and these ones here, this battery is actually in really good shape, surprisingly. So, and then this tiny little thing right here. This is the entire logic board. This whole thing right here. That's it. All this space in here, and that's all they use. And I've never torn apart an iPad 1, but I think the iPad 1 used a lot more of this empty space here. So this casing, I don't believe, changed at all between the iPad 1 and the 4. The only thing that I know that really changed between them is the iPad 4 has a lightning jack down here, which of course is a different design down here, but I don't think a lot inside has really changed. So, but don't quote me on that because, like I said, I am not entirely sure.
See if we can get the rest of this digitizer off of here. Out.
Preferably without slicing my hands up. Yeah, it's really not. It looks worse than it really is, Jay. And like I said, the fact that I'm not doing it the proper way is not helping either. So the only thing you got to be worried about is there's a cable that runs here that goes to the digitizer. So now Jay, are you replacing the actual, like, are you replacing the digitizer or are you replacing the actual screen? So if you're replacing the glass, then over here it's not really a big deal to worry about this cable because if you slice through it, it's no big loss. But now there is a cable over here which actually got sliced once before that goes to the mute switch. it's not a vital thing, but well, it goes to the volume buttons too. But you really got to watch over here because you can slice this cable here real easy. So those are the only two spots that you really have to get too worried about. You try not to nick the FaceTime camera. It usually isn't a problem. I've never run into an issue. Okay, yeah, then this over here, right here, is the worst thing you have to worry about. And of course the FaceTime camera right here. Other than that, there's so much empty space in here. Just make sure when you go in, you don't pry up on the actual LCD, or you will have a bad time. And there is foam that goes around the LCD to sort of seal the LCD and the digitizer together. So you have to go in a little bit, kind of cut through that. You can see how this one's been cut, and I did this the last time I replaced the screen. So you kind of have to watch that, but as long as you don't crack this screen, you're okay. I don't think those are very expensive anyway nowadays. Let's find out how expensive. So here we are on fix it. All fixed it. We're gonna go fix our stuff. Whoops, store. Parts. iPad parts. iPad. Second gen. Okay. We're gonna do probably a Wi-Fi iPad. So I can buy an iPad 2 digitizer for $14.17 from iFixit. The battery is $21.90. If I just want the screen digitizer on its own, it's $13.33. Here's the home button board, $4.12. But here's the LCD. Now that's my price is $30. So not terribly expensive, but I mean, yeah, $30 for a screen on a 10-year-old iPad. Now oh, you can buy the logic boards now. Last time I was here, they didn't have any logic boards. Oh, I can get a 64 gig logic board for $80. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Where's that button? Okay, so here's the volume and power button cable. So not terribly expensive. It's $5 to replace that little cable that got broken. So if you need one, I mean, hell, on here you can pretty much build an entire iPad. I mean, they got the rear case for just $22. They got the logic boards, they got the screen, they got the cameras. I mean, everything you can need. It's all here. It's awesome. I love iFixit. Now, okay, so when you buy the digitizer, or at least when you buy it from iFixit, it already has the adhesive on the digitizer. So you don't need to purchase a new adhesive. If you're buying, like, let's say you have an iPad and you're replacing the screen, then yes, you do need the adhesive, because then you're not taking you're taking the digitizer off, but you're not replacing it. So yes, in that case, you would probably have to get the adhesive. I've never actually had to replace an actual LCD in an iPad before. It's always just been replacing the digitizer. So, but the prices are pretty, at least for me, they're cheap. Now I have a wholesale account with iFixit. Because I do, believe it or not, it might come as a surprise, I actually do have a business. And so I am registered with iFixit as a reseller, more or less. So I get a little better prices than, people off the street do. So actually I get really good prices. iFixit's a really good company to work with. So if this is something you want to do or you do, I definitely suggest trying iFixit as a supplier. They're really good. They're really fast, and they're really good guys. So well, Jay, I'll make a deal with you. If you fix it, if you break it, whatever parts you need, I'll send you. No, Tobias, an iPad 2 is not worth $80. I think they have those boards and stuff because there are actually some businesses that do use iPads in their business, and I do know there's a lot of businesses that are still using iPad 2s and 3s, and they're doing that because the software that they're using is not compatible with newer models. So, and yes, they do have awesome guides. I mean, they have walkthroughs for fixing almost anything, at least on an iDevice. Now my desk has got glass all over it. I gotta wipe my desk down. Have a good night, Tobias. Thank you for coming. So what do you guys want to see next? You want to see me work on a Windows Phone? I can work on a Windows Phone too. I do Windows Phone. Yes, I can receive calls, Dave. I was right in the middle of the stream, that's why I didn't answer your call. No. I think this one's dead. It's got a dead battery. Oh yeah, it's got. No, I actually have a honest to God Windows phone. Jay, it is packed up. I have to be able to get to the post office to send it out to you, jackass. Hey Jay, why don't you show us how easy it is to find a PowerBook G4 and send it to me? Oh wait, I forgot. You lost it. No, it's not 20 feet north. It's 25 feet north. Well, maybe 30. The problem is the post office is not open the same hours that I'm home. That's been the main problem. My post office here closes at 3:30. Most days it closes at 4 o'clock on Friday, and it closes at 12 on Saturday. And unfortunately, with my work schedule the way it's been lately, it's been kind of hard to get there. Yeah, I know it's not easy to find a PowerBook G4, is it, Jay? Smart ass. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. I'm probably going to have to do that. Problem is half the time I ask them to do that, 9 times out of 10 they don't freaking pick it up. Well, Jay wants me to send him a freaking a 6-bay RAID that weighs like 50 freaking pounds, and he hasn't found anything to send me yet. So either way, I'm forking out money and not getting much in return. But it's okay. It's Jay. I'll do it. I'm just not going to do it fast. Yeah. Jay wouldn't even touch an Apple lease. He wouldn't even look twice at it because it's fucking beige. Jay doesn't do beige. Well, you can still send money. I'm okay with that. I would have rather had the PowerBook G4. No, it's not an Xserve RAID. Oh my God, no. No, it's a 6-bay Thunderbolt RAID I picked up at the VCF swap meet a couple months ago, and I got it really cheap. But it came with drives, which was cool. It came with 6 2-gig drives. I really wanted the drive. I didn't really want the RAID as much as I wanted the drives. So. At the same place, I also picked up a 4-bay FireWire 800 RAID. It's packed up in a box. I'm not going to open the box to show it to you. If you look at the video that Steve made on his finds at the VCF swap meet, you'll see the exact. I got the same exact one that he got. So I can't even remember who makes it. But this is the one that I have. The one that I'm using is right there. That's my FireWire RAID. It's sitting on top of a FireWire DVD drive too, and there's a FireWire hard drive behind the monitor. So this is the drive. This is the one I'm using. So I took the drives out of the other one, and I put 4 of them in here, and then I have one docked here in this USB 3 dock, and then the other one, the 6th one, sitting right here waiting. These 2 here are actually going to go inside my Mac Pro as soon as I get some sleds, because I am sledless. So Yeah, Steve got the same exact one I did, except the one he got didn't have drives. So I got the better deal. We both paid the same amount of money, but mine had hard drives in it. But the guy said he didn't know what condition they were in. So, but yeah, I have this RAID. It's set up as a 6 terabyte RAID. It's a RAID. I think it's a RAID 10. It's basically it's 3 strike volumes with parity. I've had 0 issues with it. And it's been working great. Even though it's an OWC and I think it's made of the cheapest shit possible. But I mean it works fine. So it has this ridiculous little key here. Pull this out. And that's what it is right there. But I think it's made of the cheapest shit possible. So it's set on. Okay, it's a RAID 5. That's how I have it set up. So, but yeah, I mean it's worked fine. I haven't had any issues with it. It does have an alarm in it if anything goes wrong. Steve picked one of these up as well. I don't know if he's ever going to use his. Like I said, I got the Thunderbolt one mainly because I really wanted to drive it. I didn't really want the RAID itself. I just wanted the drives in it. Hell, it's 10 terabytes for, I think I paid $50 for it. Steve can correct me. I think it was $50. And I think I gave him $20 for this one with no drives. So, and yeah, it works great. And it's FireWire 800, so it's actually fast as shit. I don't have any Thunderbolt Max. I didn't have any Thunderbolt Max at the time. I do have one now, but I didn't at the time. So, it was kind of silly for me to even worry about the Thunderbolt RAID. Jay has a use for it because his wife has a newer iMac with Thunderbolt. So, but yeah, I use it. It stores all. I mean, it does backups and it has backups of backups on it. It backs up my. I have things set up so it backs up my boot drive every day at 3 in the morning. So it'll automatically clone. It automatically clones my SSD to it. So 512 gigs is automatically taken up on it for that. And then that same drive is also backed up here on this NAS via Time Machine. So Time Machine keeps my boot drive backed up as well. So I have this 3 terabyte NAS, and then there's an external 500 gig hard drive here that is just general network storage, network accessible storage. So but that seems to work for me. And now I also have a Blu-ray burner in my computer, so I can also get some Blu-ray backup Blu-ray optical disc, and I can do that as well. So I'm not exactly sure how much data a Blu-ray stores. I think it's 12 gigs or something. So yeah, I just do this because this is my only main computer. Right? If anything happens to this computer, I go into a panic attack. So I definitely keep this one backed up really well. I do backups of backups on my main drives now. My data drives, they're not backed up like they should be. I should back them up as well, but I need more space to do that. So, but on that note, I think we're gonna call it a stream. I need to get something to eat, and I have other videos I would like to watch. Plus, I need to go to the store. But this is cool, Jay and Steve. I don't know if you have ever done this. So this is my iPhone through OBS. I didn't even know you could do this. So apparently you can use it as a camera. Or we can flip it. Hi! Or we can go in and check the weather. It is 85 degrees outside right now. Looks like no precipitation. Although we do have a severe storm risk. But yeah, I didn't know you could actually do this with your phone through OBS. At least you can on a Mac. What, this wallpaper? Yeah, she's kind of cute. So here's my DOS. I downloaded this. I don't know if you guys watch Mac Check, so they have a Apple's having a fit with this program iDOS. They want to pull it from the App Store, so I bought it quick. It's $5, and just to have it, because once you own it, they have to at least allow you to download it indefinitely. At least I think so. So I got to play with this and find out how to do DOS images and whatnot. I know, she's not your kind of woman, Jay. This Jay. You're cutting cauliflower. I am actually just connecting this to my computer with the lightning cable. I didn't even know this was possible. So this is my iPhone 6s Plus. I actually just connected it to my computer to download a picture. So uh-oh, fire alarms. What's going on? I hear fire alarms. Huh. Not using any software. I mean, I'm using OBS on my Mac. But I'm just capturing it as a video source. Huh, nothing going on. That's weird. Huh. Okay. Yes, it's connected through a lightning cable. So, there's my phone. Lightning cable goes down to the floor and into the front of the Mac Pro. And then in OBS, all right, let's try that now. So yeah, I just have it set as a video capture device, and that's it. So I didn't know that was even possible, but apparently it is. And there's no special software running or anything like that. It's just plugged into the computer, just like you would do, like you were syncing your phone. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. So, and yeah, you can actually on a Windows phone. So on a Windows phone, if you go into, where is it? All right, I have to remember how to do it. It's here, you can connect to a wireless display. And I can actually connect this to my bedroom. This is a Roku in my bedroom. I can actually do the same thing with my iPhone too. So all right, yeah. But there's another way that I could. There's a way I could actually like just broadcast the screen onto a computer. I tell you, Windows 10. This is Windows 10 here. This was, yeah. I really liked. I loved Windows Phone. So, as you can see, this is Windows 10 Mobile. This isn't exactly the best phone to have it on, but, you know, and it's funny. I actually have, where are we at? I have my original Lumia 710, which has a busted screen and probably a very dead battery. This runs Windows Phone 7, and it's actually 7.5. So this was the first modern Windows Phone, and this thing's seen a lot of use. And this one here is a Lumia 630, I believe. This one ran Windows Phone 8. And this one has a very dead battery too. This particular phone is not a great phone. But you know, you can actually replace the battery in it. This was after Microsoft took over for Nokia. So the quality of some of these phones was not the best. So, but they were a solid platform. You know, and then I have the Windows 10 phone. Now this actually ran Windows 8 initially when I got it. I actually upgraded it to Windows 10. So this is actually running the very, very last version of Windows Phone possible. This is an Alcatel One Touch Fierce. They made this in both Android and Windows Phone, and believe me, the Windows Phone is the superior version of this phone. The Android phone is a piece of shit. But this thing here, I mean, this phone, and Windows, believe it or not, Windows Phone is actually still, it's not supported by Microsoft, but it is still supported by third parties and everything, and there's still a lot of apps you can download. There's very few first-party apps you can download, but now this is a third-party app for YouTube that works rather well. Yeah, the Alcatel here is probably one of the best ones that wasn't actually a Nokia phone. I also had a Lumia 930. That thing was freaking awesome. That ran Windows Phone 8. Unfortunately, it got IMEI locked out, so it was dead. So, yeah, I know, Fred. They finally did get this right. They did, and you know, I've been using Windows Phone since version 6. I used to have a Nextel i930 smartphone, and yeah, it was pretty good, but without the touchscreen and everything. And then I got the 710, and I used to live the shit out of this thing. And this isn't even this is like a 1G phone, I think. I mean, this thing is, there was no 3G or anything when this came. This came out in like 2010, I think, or 2009. And this is a great little phone. That was, I think, the 960. I think it had that freaking like 40 megapixel camera or whatever it was. I never had the money. I wanted one of those so bad. I just never had the money. God, they were fucking gorgeous. They had like this insane like 40. So they said some like 40 megapixel camera. Let's see here. So this was the 920. This is the one I had, and this was absolutely wonderful phone. I really, really, really liked that phone. It was the first LTE phone I had, and then. No, wait. No, I had the 925. Find a picture of it. Oh, this was the one. The 1520, I think, was one of them. They made a bunch of these. They were freaking insane. These things were like thousands of dollars. I don't even think this was it though. God, they made so many of these freaking things. I can't remember which ones. 'Air, this one here. This was one of them that had this insane camera on it. Uh, 41 megapixel camera sensor. Now, from what I understood, that was kind of like a marketing thing. Apparently, it wasn't quite that good, but from what I heard, they had hellacious cameras on them, and they were really, really good. Yeah, this is one. Okay, so it was a 920 I had. Yep. It was like the top of the line Windows phone that T-Mobile offered at the time. It was fast. It was great on the internet, and oh my god, I loved it. So here's the first one. This is the 710. This is the one I showed you. I still have. It was the first Windows phone that Nokia made. So unfortunately, it's pretty useless nowadays. Windows 7.5 is there's nothing you can do on it anymore. It's kind of like a first gen iPhone. So, but it was pretty cool. I mean, the way it was all implemented. Yeah, I believe that they are still really good cameras. I've actually thought about getting an old Lumia with one of the good cameras just to take videos and stuff on. Because they do have really good cameras. So the camera on my Alcatel is not the greatest. I've used it, but it's not the best. I think it's only like 8 megapixels or something like that. So I'd actually thought about getting an old Lumia phone and using it for my like main camera for my YouTube channel because I can plug a microphone into it. So I can't do that with my Sony Alpha, unfortunately, which I'm actually thinking about selling because I don't use it anymore. Yeah, I doubt they're very expensive anymore. Yeah, they always did have kind of weak CPUs in them, but you know, unlike an Android phone, the Windows operating system was a lot more efficient than Android. And see, Windows was a closed operating system like iOS. So the only difference between the Windows operating system and the iOS is Apple won't license iOS for anybody. So Windows, Microsoft will license, well, they used to license Windows Mobile to third-party companies, but the thing is they set the requirements for the phone, so they had to have fairly the same specs and everything else, and the operating system was not able to be modified for the phone it was being put on, with the exception of some specific software for a carrier or something. Unlike Android, which is open source for the most part, and is modified for whomever is using it. So you can get a Samsung phone, you can get an LG phone. They might both still have Android 8 on them, but both phones may be totally 100% different. And that's why I thought the Windows phone was far superior. And truthfully, the Windows operating system was far superior to iOS at the time. And it got surpassed around, I'm going to say, iOS 8. You know. So, you know, I still like my Windows phone. Unfortunately, I had to give up using my Windows phone because my side job, my second job, told anybody who's still using a Windows phone that the software was no longer going to be supported as of next month. So unfortunately, I had to switch to an iPhone, and that's what I use the iPhone 5C for. And that's what I'm actually going to use the iPhone 6 for, is my second phone for my second job. So, but on that note, yeah, the live tiles were freaking awesome. See, this is something else I like, so I think this one does it. So if I hit the screen twice, nope, this one won't do it. I may have it turned off too. But whoops. But like the live tiles, this is shit that's been out since like 2015 on a Windows phone. And this shit's just now coming out on iPhones. The live tiles, see now here, it's showing me, it's kind of hard to see, but here, I mean, it's showing me weather forecast. Here it shows me my email live. You know, if I had any calendar events, they would show up in this tile here. You know, I can resize and I can move these tiles anywhere I want. I can make it smaller. I can make it bigger. You know, I can make it half size. You know, I can do whatever I want. You know, it was just a way better operating system in general than, you know. I still think it has a lot of features in it that iOS just still hasn't gotten to the point. The live tiles were the big thing, and then just swiping over here, and here's all your apps. And it's just like using a Windows computer, you know. So what happened, Frederick, is I actually made a video. I actually did a video when iOS, I think 14 came out, so about a year ago. I made a video of, it was kind of a rant video about Windows Phone versus iOS, and all the crap that Microsoft was just now that Apple was just now coming out with shit that's been out on Windows Phone for a couple years now. And oh yeah, that's nice too. If you tap a letter, you can go to whatever you want. You know, here's my Wi-Fi analyzer. You know. But I mean, there's just, there's so much, there's so many better things about Windows Phone. Even to this day, I'm still not totally convinced. I'm still not totally convinced that Apple has gotten it all together. So, but that's just me. Yeah, it's just me, I guess. So, but now we had the Windows versus Android or Apple rant. So, time for me to go find something to eat. And yeah, Android sucks. I hate Android. Yeah, I can't believe that Android became the de facto operating system for most smartphones. And I think it all had to come down with cost and licensing requirements. But maybe Frederick, maybe one of these days I'm just going to do a stream that is just all Windows Phone. I would really like to do that. I really miss my Windows Phone. I like playing with my Windows phones. So, but on that note, I'm going to go find something to eat. I got to go to the store yet tonight. I got to take the trash out. I got shit to do. So, thanks for sticking around while I fixed an iPhone 6s, destroyed an iPad mini, or destroyed an iPad 2, and ranted about Windows phones. So don't forget to like, subscribe, all that kind of crap. You know, don't forget there's a PayPal link in the description if you're interested in donating anything to the channel. Anything you donate will automatically go back into the channel and allow me to bring you more interesting content. Believe me, I will not buy more Windows phones. So make sure you like, subscribe, tell all your friends. Please tell all your friends. I still have an iPad mini here I gotta get rid of, people. Come on, we gotta get to 850 subscribers. I want to get rid of this fucking iPad so I can go and get the MacBook Pro fixed up to give that away at 1,000. So, you guys all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'm sure I'll see you soon. Bye.